with so much misogyny in the world, how can you get turned on when you don't know if the next dude you meet is a Gamergator or a Red Pillar or a Trump fan? This is Cathy Vartuli from the Intimacy Dojo.
And this is Liz Powell from Sex Positive Psych. And it is hard. Like, you're just starting to get to know someone. You're like, oh, this is kind of cool. I like the dialogue. And then they come out with something that you're like, oh my God, I need to take a shower now. And it's a splash of very cold water.
It can be. I'm a huge feminist. Anyone who's read any of my writing or watched almost any of my videos knows that I'm a huge feminist. And part of why I'm so out and open and public about being a feminist is so that usually those folks self-select away from me.
Yeah.
My haircut says queer, so a lot of those more stereotypically misogynist dudes aren't approaching queer women, and especially aren't approaching them in a good way.
I identify as queer, but I think I present more straight. And so, yeah, I've had dates where I was like, oh, this is going really well. And then they say something like, oh, aren't you so glad Trump won, or something like that. And I'm like, check, please.
So how do you get turned on? Here's what I would say. When I'm in a place, to be frank, where I'm uncertain how I feel about having sex anymore with cis straight men. Because I feel like, to some extent, they really don't get it in a lot of ways. And particularly with the current political climate, I have a lot of reservations about getting involved with cis straight men, particularly if they're not active in social justice or active in sex positive communities, because I don't have the space to like spend my emotional energy on their misogyny, right? And a lot of cis straight men have unexamined misogyny that they don't know that they have, and they don't intend to, and
they mean very well.
They mean very well, but they just haven't had to work through it. And so an easy answer, but not easy in terms of numbers, is to just not have sex with cis straight men, right? Another thing that I do is I always talk about social justice on the first date.
Yeah.
Always. I find a way to work it into the conversation.
And while it may raise some, you may get some negative comments, just actually saying, if you are pro-Trump, please don't message me.
Right.
You might get some people that are like, why, or kind of calling you out on it, but I'm a big believer in just leading with what my profile says. If you don't like bigger women, don't message me. I like calling out the thing that's important to me at the time, right at the top. And right now, politics are, like, if you don't know anything about politics or you're pro-Trump, I'm going to not want to go out with you.
Right.
I want people that are at least somewhat, they don't have to be marching in the streets, but people that are aware.
Yeah. The other thing that I do is I get, and this is not applicable for some folks, but most of the people that I date or hook up with are like referrals from other people.
Yeah.
They're, oh my God, I had so much fun with this person, you should sleep with them, and then they send them my way. And
unfortunately, that's not available for everybody.
That's why I love having so many sluts in my life. But there's always a referral network. Like, even if you're not in a slutty community, do you know anyone who has dated them? Do you know anyone who's their friend? What can you find out about them before you decide to have sex with them?
I think you can also pre-select somewhat where you're meeting people. So if you're online, you can say, hey, don't message me. I'm only going out with people that are active or whatever. But maybe go to a rally that, not for the sake of solely seeking out people, but like if you want to go to a rally anyway, you want to support something, show up, meet some people. They're probably, if they're there, they're probably going to be supporting similar beliefs.
I mean, there's still a lot of folks who are super problematic in those communities. You're just
at least front weighting
you're front weighting it. They're less likely to be as problematic.
Yeah.
And I think there's also this bigger, deeper question of like, with all of this misogyny that is coming out in the world right now, like, how do you find your sexuality, right?
It's hard when I'm stressed right now. I find myself more, and I've seen it with a lot of my friends who are very passionate about this. They're more reactive. Their tanks are not as full, and they're like, little things can set people off that would normally be they would just be like, oh, whatever.
Right. Well, the vice president believes that people like us should be electrocuted until they're straight. So let's have some sex. It's tough. But
unless you're really into that kind of play,
which can be fun, but like consensually, I don't. I love a violet wand, but whatever. Consensually. So what I've been telling myself is that the sex that I have is revolutionary. That I am going out there and having lots of amazing, hot, pleasure-focused sex with people who are woke, or at least try to be, and who...
We all have good days and bad days.
Have good days and bad days, right? But like people who are queer and who are fighting this revolution, you can help fight part of the revolution with your genitals. Like the sex that you have can be part of your activism.
Yeah. And just be gentle with yourself. If you start feeling attracted to someone and you find out they voted for Trump, that doesn't mean you're a bad person.
No.
It doesn't mean that you can't judge people. There are lots of people that voted for various different reasons, and some people have very strong beliefs, and I'm not saying that you should sleep with them, but just realize that if you were attracted to someone and you find out that they're are not on the side that you want to walk on, that doesn't mean anything wrong about you. Be grateful that you found out when you did, so you don't spend more time. And like you said, start the conversation early, early the first date. It's like, I like to have the safer sex talk relatively early, because if they can't articulate about sex, we're not going to have fun in bed, because I like to be very articulate about it. So bring up what's important to you early on, versus what a lot of people do is like try to coast and
make them like you first and then be real.
Yeah, no, just be real, and the right people will run away and the right people will stay.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. But I get it. Like, nothing kills my lady boner like knowing that Trump is our next president.
I want to make some kind of comment about your next safe word being Pence.
Oh, no.
That would really shut us down.
Plus, it's too close to penis.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Not that I ever say penis usually in a sexual context. Usually it's like dick or cock. But Pence sounds so much like penis.
Yeah,
That's
and
sad.
it would really shut things down.
It would shut things down like hard.
Yeah.
Like
It's like the emergency stop on a gas tank or something. Anyway, sorry about that.
Use Pence as your safe word if you want to, but
sorry, yeah.
Willies.
I might have hurt my brain. So we'd love to know what you're doing now to take care of yourself, and how are you navigating the dating world and the sex world in the midst of a lot of stress and a lot of very sensitive, vulnerable feelings.
Absolutely. Comments below.
Congratulations on taking this time for yourself and learning these things. If you'd like to follow more of this, you can subscribe to my channel here. Social media is up here, and there's more videos of this type here. See you soon.